Good evening, everybody. Let me make sure that the PowerPoint slide is visible. Okay. So I assume I'm audible and the slide is visible.
Yes.
The topic is fear.
We are audible and slide is
Yeah, that's
visible.
fine. Okay, thank you. Purpose of today's talk: provide insightful information about fear, share strategies to manage and overcome fear. My talk is based on FEQT: facts, experience, quotes, and thoughts. Prasadji, you must be aware that we talked about trustworthiness, authenticity, credibility. So a talk must be authentic. The contents must be authentic. And the speaker should be credible. So I always try my best to ensure that I am credible and the substance is authentic. That is why I use facts. And again, when you use the facts, I make sure the facts are indisputable. So that is what I do. Then experience. There's no point in talking about somebody or somebody, this person, that person, how they manage their fear. No. How did I manage the fear? If I am not able to manage fear, I should not come and sit and preach. Tell others how to manage fear. Follow me? I should demonstrate. Yes, I handle those fear successfully. Then comes the quotations. Because every quotation or every proverb, it is actually pearls of wisdom. Many people don't realize that one. Make it a habit of reading, if possible, at least 5 quotations every day. Not just reading. After reading, just ponder or meditate upon those quotes. That's what I do. And I have told in the past also, I have a personal collection of more than 40,000 quotations. I started collecting quotations 40 years back. And I continue to do so. And lastly, thoughts. My hobby is thinking. So when I get some free time, then I take up a topic or something else, then I start thinking about that. So I'll be sharing my own original thoughts. There are numerous books on the subject fear. I've shown you just 3 titles. Definition of fear: an emotion experienced in anticipation of some specific pain or danger, often accompanied by a desire to flee or fight. I'm sure that most of you are aware of the reaction to stress. Fear is a stress. Fear is a stressor. The reaction, some people, they want to run away. Flee means running away. Avoid that one. Or fight. That's the usual reaction. I have identified 8 types of common fears. There may be numerous, more than what I'm going to list. But for today's discussion, I'm going to talk about these 8 types of common fears. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of loneliness, fear of loss, fear of death, fear of rejection, fear of criticism, and fear of uncertainty. Fear of failure. Let us look at each one. Fear of failure. Many people, they don't even attempt anything because of the fear of failure. What happens? That they are not able to face the criticism. Some people will criticize if you fail. Sometimes the parents may criticize, or friends. The best way is don't try. Look at a small baby. I'm sure this example everybody is aware of. A baby cannot walk just like that in one fine morning. Tries to get up, falls, failure. But there we don't criticize. And we motivate. We encourage. That is why the baby is able to subsequently walk. Whereas if you tell them, no, you will fall. Don't get up. Sit down. That's not what we do. But unfortunately, subsequently, the parents and other people, they don't tolerate any kind of failure. Am I right? If I am right, in the chat box put yes. Because that is the only way I can make sure that this session is interactive. So put why or yes. Okay. So CG, yes. So that fear of failure actually discourages many people from attempting many things. Then fear of success. Do you want me to explain this fear of success? If you want me to explain, put why. Then I will explain. Some people are afraid of success also. Do you want me to explain? Yes, Navinji. I know, and I'm sure that you also, some of you must be knowing that one. Some people, they join the bank as a clerk or clerical post. Subsequently, they never even attempt a examination to become a manager or officer. You ask them why? Or if I am successful, if I pass the exam, and if I become an officer, then I may have to maybe transferred to another state. I may have to leave my home, family, and to different state. They don't want to leave the comfort zone. Have you seen such people? If you have seen, put in the chat box why. They never take any examination. Yes, welcome, Pulaji. Thank you. Because I know, because I'm not young, I have seen. Then what happens? Then they subsequently make their own life miserable. People who join after them, And when they become the officers, and sometimes after 3 or 5 years, they come back and they get posted to the same branch. Now they become their boss. Now comes the ego, conflict. That is because of that fear of success that one subsequently holds that person back. This is one example. There are numerous examples. For want of time, I'm limiting to one example. Then fear of loneliness. Now, it was not a real issue some 30 years back. And it's a real issue. 30 years back, those who are now in their 50s or 60s, they never had to worry about loneliness because their children will be somewhere around near them. Now it is not like that. Most of the parents, their children are in some other country or some other state. Not only that, in the past, people used to have even half a dozen children. Now, one child or two children, and both children are far away. Fear of loneliness. Is this a real fear? If there is a real fear, is there a fear of loneliness? My question is there a fear of loneliness? Some people, do they experience or not? If they experience, please say yes. Fear of loneliness. Chat box. Yes, I gave a talk on loneliness just last month or month before last. It is not imaginary. Loneliness is really a worrisome situation. Then fear of loss. Loss could be loss of position, loss of reputation, or loss of wealth. People who invest money in the stock market, that fear of loss. And many things, fear of loss of relationship. Then fear of death. Being a medical doctor, this one, I don't think that here I think only the Dr. Ambadi knows that is what I'm talking about. She's also a doctor. Some patients, they always keep on worrying about death, death, death. Will I die? Doctor, should I worry about this one? Is it very serious? ഒന്നും പേടിക്കാനില്ലല്ലോ. ഒന്നും പേടിക്കാനില്ലല്ലോ. Like 10 times, 20 times, keep on reassuring. പേടിക്കാവുന്നില്ലല്ലോ. That is fear of death. The medical term is called thanatophobia. Then fear of rejection. The boy may like the girl may like the very same boy, but both of them, they won't tell their real feeling because each person is afraid whether that person will say no. I love you, they're worried whether that person will say, the person says no, then that'll be shame. Because of that, they never. And many love, they die intrauterine, just like a baby, without getting delivered. Die because of that fear of rejection. Is this real? If there is a real, please in the chat box put R. I'm sure some of you also during your younger days might have liked some other girls, some other boys, but subsequently you never dare to. Real. Okay, thank you. Real. Okay.
Sir, could you please repeat the same? Sir? Talking about the
Okay.
baby dying in the womb.
Pardon?
Could you please repeat that sentence?
Which one?
That talking about the baby dying in the womb.
That is undelivered. Dead inside the womb. It is dead inside the womb. That is where the love also inside the mind itself. It doesn't come out. Dies there.
Thank
Then
you, sir.
fear of criticism. Obvious. And fear of uncertainty. People who fall sick. Oh, uncertainty. How many days will I have to stay in the hospital? How much it will cost? What? All sorts of, and even two areas where the uncertainty is a real concern. One is hospital. Second one is a legal battle. How long will it take? Am I right, Prasadji? Going to a court again? Any legal battle? How many years? How much will it cost? That uncertainty creates a lot of fear. There's no medicine for fear. Scottish proverb. Fear defeats more people than any other one in the world. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Absolutely true. The oldest and the strongest emotion of mankind is fear. He's a horror fiction writer, Lovecraft. Fears are educated into us and can, if we wish, be educated out. As a psychiatrist. Do you want me to explain that one? If you want me to explain, put why. I will explain that one. I don't want to assume that it is very clear for everybody. Okay, I'll explain. Please listen to me carefully. Fear is not inborn. It is acquired. Fear is acquired. Now, a 1-year-old baby, you show a snake. Do you think that the child will be scared? No. But then subsequently, Pambu, snake, be careful, snake, it will bite you like that. Now that fear. And the darkness also, a baby is not afraid of darkness. But the parents, to discourage a child from climbing the stairs, going upstairs, don't go upstairs. Ghost is there. Puchandi. Don't go there. And the child thinks that, okay, something is, you should worry about darkness. Now is it clear? Prasadji? So that is how fear is injected. Fear is injected. Who? Adults. Those adults could be parents or other caretakers, and over a period of time, that fear grows. Now I'm going to share a real life story about my son. My son was in India. He was born. I was in UK at that time. Then when he was 18 months old, he came to USA. By then I moved to USA. And then what happened was, when he was around 5 years old, we went to one house. At that time there was a dog. That dog barked, and my son immediately cried and he ran away. He ran away. He ran out of that house. He wouldn't come inside. I was wondering what happened. Then afterwards, every time before going to any house, he will ask, is there a dog? Is there a dog? Only if he makes sure that there's no dog. If there is a dog, he wouldn't come. That fear. Something must have happened. When he was in India, somebody might have injected a dog, a stray dog, we know. Don't go near that, it will bite, something like that. That fear. Then it took a few months for me to desensitize. What I did was, I took him to the pet shop. Here there are plenty of pet shops. And you can see small, they sell puppies, kitten, fish, birds, and everything. Small puppy. Then I went and I lifted that one and asked him to come and touch. No. He said, no. You're standing far away. I said, come, don't worry, don't. There, Abba, your father is holding this one, come. And reluctantly, he'll come few steps and he may touch and immediately he'll run away. Then I took him to one of my friend's house. There was one guy, his son was a Nikhilesh. He was 1 or 2 years younger than my son. And they had a pet dog. So I took him there and I showed him, see, Nikhilesh is playing with that dog. Don't worry, go. And another guy, one Balaji, they had another dog. I took him to those houses and gradually that fear, he was able to overcome that fear. It's a real story. He acquired that fear. Somebody, when he was there, injected that fear. If he didn't get over that fear, subsequently he was in India. From the 8th grade till his MBA, he was in India. Do you think that he would have been able to survive there with all these stray dogs? No way. No way. So fear is acquired. The first and great commandment is, don't let them scare you. Don't let them scare you. Real life again, example. Right now, what happened? ED, I'm giving a real example. You understand. Summons from the ED or from the CBI. Ordinary person like you and I, we may get scared. But what about the politicians? Are they scared? No. They are not at all scared. So we have to learn something from the politicians. They won't let others intimidate them or scare them. Is this a real life example convincing? If it is convincing, put the C in the chat box. Is it convincing? That is what it is. That is the strength of the politicians. They are not afraid. Because of that one, they don't. Very rarely they commit suicide. Very rarely they get a heart attack also. Very rarely. Yes, they are not afraid. There is no fear. One who fears failure limits his activities. American automaker, Henry Ford. When he conceived that idea about the assembly line, that manufacturing, before that, to manufacture a car assembly, many people will be working on that one. It may take 10 hours minimum. And he conceived the idea. Why not? Break into parts. One guy will put the wheel, it moves, another person under wheel, another person the steering wheel, like that. And it required a lot of money. Because a lot of space also required. And he wanted money. He approached many banks. It was a new idea. Many banks, they are not willing to take that risk. They thought that this is not going to work. Because the bank managers, they had that fear of failure. They didn't. Then he approached his friends and his relatives and he told them, give me money, whatever you can, and I will return that one. You will get more this one. And they thought, okay, this guy is becoming a pain. He is our friend or relative. He is asking. Okay, they gave small amount, that one. And he put it into practice. He was able to complete the car within 90 minutes, something like that. From more than 10 hours, complete assembly. So the cost of production came down. Volume also, production increased. And he revolutionized. So that is what it is. Fear of failure. He was not afraid. So that is a real life story. In my own life also, there are plenty of such one. If time permits, I will share more stories. Life begins where fear ends. Rajneesh. In my case, I had the fear of public speaking. During my school days, I never ventured to give a speech. During my pre-degree days, no. MBBS days, no. I had to give a vote of thanks speech once. I lost on the previous day's sleep. I couldn't. And I asked my friend to write that is what I should say. And he wrote some 3 or 4 paragraphs. I said, no, I cannot. Make it just 3 or 4 sentences. Because of that much of fear. And when I went there, I was really so nervous. My voice was barely audible to anybody. That fear of public speaking. That one was a big limitation. Then I did certain things in my own way. I started reading books on public speaking. I went to the library. Nobody goes and reads these books. I borrowed those books. And again, they are talking about this is what should do, what you should do, like that. Then I started trying. Over a period of time, I was able to overcome that fear. And Osho said that life begins when the fear ends. Because of that, subsequently, I became a successful teacher, successful trainer. And I was able to enjoy life. And I was able to make money also as a trainer. Is this example convincing? If it is convincing, please say C. The whole idea is to, when you share this video with somebody else, if that somebody is suffering from that fear of public speaking, I want to motivate that person. Think, oh, this Dr. Reddiar also suffered had the same fear. If Dr. Reddiar could overcome, I can also overcome. That's why I'm sharing. I'm not ashamed to tell truth. I don't want to claim, oh, all along I knew how to. No, I didn't have that skill. It's only a skill. How to overcome fear? Be around people who are fearless. That is what the politicians are doing. They are in the company of other politicians. Politicians, they are not at all afraid. Otherwise, fear is just like a virus, a coronavirus, highly contagious. If you are in the company of people cowards, you will also become a coward. If you are in the company of people who are bold, yes, you'll also be bold. Do you agree? If you agree, put A. put A. Because make sure that you don't be in the company of cowards. That is the secret behind the politician. I think a lot. That's why I think, okay, how come they are not afraid? How come they are not getting heart attack? How come they are not committing suicide? Then I discover, oh, this is the reason. Why? Company. Fear can spread from person to person faster than the coronavirus. Okay? Department of Psychiatry, Michigan Medicine. Again, that Frederick Lenz. Step 1 in overcoming fear is to make a fear list. Make a list of all the things that you are afraid of. Start out with the small fears and conquer them. This is exactly what I did without realizing that this advice. Fear. I'm afraid of public speaking. Then, I am afraid of rejection. That's another fear. I put all those lists. I'm afraid of criticism, fear of criticism. Okay. I am afraid of failure. I made a list. Then how to overcome? Fear of failure. When I read the biography of Abraham Lincoln, so many failures, Abraham Lincoln. He failed several times. And eventually he became president of USA. And even now, out of some 45 presidents, he is still rated as number 1, Abraham Lincoln. So that one motivated me, gave me the courage that failure is not fatal. In the same way, the old story, Robert Bruce, when he was motivated to go again and fight, he learned that lesson from observing a spider. You know that old story. The spider, 7th time also, 7 times it failed, again. So he again motivated that failure. From that spider was his guru. Then fear of rejection. But okay, they reject, so what? My mantra is, so what? So what? Okay, the sky is not going to fall down. My mindset changed. And ask. If you ask, that's a 50% probability that person may agree. 50% no. So what? So I was able to overcome that fear of rejection. So these are some of the real life examples. Do you find my personal stories interesting and motivating? If yes, please put why. I told you always, my talk will be based on FEQT. That is my own experience. Yes, Prasadji, yes. Prasadji, yes. I don't want to talk about somebody else, how they overcame their fear. No, my own personal fears. Thank you, Velapampalaji. Fear of death is worse than death itself. How many of you remember a piece of dialogue from the old movie Sholay? Old Hindi movie. This was released in 1975. I must have watched that movie nearly 10 times. And when it was released, after that one, the soundtrack was available, Polydor Records. HMV and Polydor. There, Amjad Khan played the role of villain, Gabbar Singh. And there's a piece of dialogue. He says that, Jo dar gaya, samcho wo mar gaya. Jo dar gaya, samcho wo mar gaya. Same way, fear of death is worse than the actual death. I'm not afraid of death, my dear friends. I'm not kidding. If the, what you call, Yama comes in front of me right now while I'm giving this talk, hey, I will come to take you. Are you ready? I will say, yes, I'm ready. Come on, take me. I'm ready. I'm ready. Fear of death is the worst kind of death, fear. Do you know these two, this couple? If you don't know, put N. If you don't know, put N. I'll be surprised if you know their names. If you don't know, put N, the chat box. No. Okay. Prasad, no. Okay. That gentleman I showed in that one, the next slide, I'm sure that you'll be able to identify. Who is that person? Some of you may be able to identify. Can you?
Stephen Hawking.
Exactly. Good. Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking, the English physicist and cosmologist. That is his wife. That is when he was in his early 20s. Why did I show this picture? Come on, Malia Polite, ask me questions at the end, please. Don't distract me. The chat box. So Stephen Hawking, when he was in his early 20s, he was diagnosed to have a disease called motor neuron disease. And he was told that he will die within the next 3 or 4 years. That's a serious illness. Don't you think that is enough for a person to feel completely discouraged, demotivated, and give up everything? He was not afraid of death. And interestingly, he lived for another 40 years or nearly 50 years. And the illness progressed, and subsequently he was wheelchair bound. He was not able to even speak. He required a computer assisted that one to speak also. But he was always cheerful. That mindset, he never let any fears. So he is, again, in my workplace also, when I used to work in the hospital, in my office room, there was a picture of Stephen Hawking. So whenever, I used to feel frustrations, some kind of frustration, I would look at his picture. I say, I'm much, much better off than Stephen Hawking. So I should not grumble. I should not. Then I'll be able to overcome that frustration or anything. So that is Stephen Hawking. Christopher Columbus, the Italian explorer and navigator. He lived mostly in the 15th century and the early part of the 16th century. Rejection, fear of rejection. He didn't have that fear of rejection. He needed money, financial support for that exploration and all those things. He approached at that monarchs, the queen in Italy, in Portugal, or in Brazil or Portugal, I'm not sure. Then eventually Spain. It took nearly 10 years. It took 10 years for him to get the financial help. And many people, they are not willing to come because of risk at that time. Okay. So he could not get people to come with him, crew. Then that all the prisoners, some prisoners, they were sentenced to death. So they were asked to, criminals, hardcore criminals who were sentenced to death, they were asked to go with him. Uncertainty is there. risking the life. So he was not, that fear of rejection, it didn't stop him. The fear of death also didn't stop him. And he wanted to come to India, but he ended up in America. So Christopher Columbus, we have to learn these things, not just reading and forgetting. That is what I do. Some of you may be aware of this acronym. The fear has two meanings: forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. The choice is yours. So I chose the second one. Initially, I was in that first one, fear and run. Now face and rise. The two greatest fear busters are knowledge and action. Please remember this one. This is the most important slide. The two greatest fear busters are knowledge and action. That public speaking fear, how was I able to overcome? By reading books on public speaking. I was able to get the knowledge. That knowledge, yes, helped me overcome that fear. People who stay ignorant, that fear won't go away. Even now, again, the artificial intelligence, and I am 70 plus. I'm trying to understand what this artificial intelligence is. And I have started again using the Google artificial intelligence and Microsoft artificial intelligence. Always be open-minded, learning. Otherwise, you will feel intimidated. Oh, something is scary. So that is what it is. Knowledge is. And not only knowledge, many people have some knowledge or information, but they don't apply that one. Only applied knowledge is power. Knowledge is power? No, that is incomplete statement. Only applied knowledge is power. I apply. And I always, the two words. So what? That is my own mantra. Okay, if it doesn't work, so what? So applied knowledge, though, knowledge and action. If you are wearing shoes, you don't fear the thorns. You are going to a jungle or somewhere. Oh, there are plenty of stones or thorns or many things. If you are wearing shoes, you don't have to worry. So I am going to paraphrase that one. You may think, oh, what is he talking about? That is simple. Everybody knows. Everybody knows, yeah. No. You have to apply it in real life. How? I'm going to show you. If you gain knowledge, you will lose the fear of failure. Just like wearing a shoe, here you gain knowledge, then you are not afraid of failure. What do you think about this paraphrasing? Are you convinced? If you are convinced, put to C. That's what I told you, my hobby is thinking. So it's not from any book. It's not from any book. It's my own original thinking. Knowledge is something just like that, wearing shoes. Then you don't have to worry about thorns, worry about failure. Thank you, Shanta Chandan. In order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your fear of failure. Bill Cosby. the American comedian and media personality. Success and failure. The desire for success, if it is strong, then you won't be afraid of failure. If that desire is not strong, then the failure will discourage you. Risk-taking. Look at all these politicians again. I'm giving you the example again and again when I talk about politicians because we can learn many lessons. Most of them are, they are immoral, unethical. I don't want you to learn those, the characteristics. But other things like their courage, their confidence. Those are the things. So the politicians also again, just like that one, they contest in the election. They know only one person can win. Whereas the examination, if 100 students write and you take an exam, all the 100 students can pass if they write well. But in the election MLA, if 10 candidates contest, only one person can. So 9 people. And some people may lose even their deposit. Are they afraid? That success, that desire for winning the election, getting that power, that is very strong. So that is what is required. Every Thursday, I give a talk in my own platform. This Thursday will be on toxic relationships. And after that, self-imposed limits. And that is the Zoom ID and passcode. You can take a screenshot or you can write down. It is the same ID, same passcode. Every Thursday at 8 o'clock. So now I think that we have 12 minutes for discussion and Q&A. If you want to ask a question, please make sure that question is related to the topic I have discussed. Topic. And don't ask me about why politicians drink alcohol. That has no relevance. Here we are talking about fear. Anything related to the topic, fear.
Good morning, sir. Malika here.
Yeah.
What my understanding is only due to fear and anxiety, they are taking liquor and they are more towards the liquor. That's what is my understanding. That is why I'm asking this question.
Okay, first and foremost thing, how often do you hear a person, a politician, dying from liver failure because of alcohol addiction? Have you come across a politician?
Very few people, not many people, few people.
I haven't come across even one person. And the politicians, there are, please don't try to convert this one in an argument. There are. So very few. You will say that very few. So that very few means, but whereas look at even doctors. In my own circle, 5 doctor friends, they died from liver failure because of alcohol addiction. They are not able to manage their stress. Whereas politicians, not only that, they work 7 days a week, Maliaji. 7 days. Not from 10 to 5. Look at Modi, 365 days, 10 years. Not even 1 day, he took vacation. So politicians, no, they are hardworking. Some of them may be what you call corrupt. That's a different thing. But they are hardworking. Not even one person can become successful in politics if that person is not hardworking, except few guys because of the dynasty, because they belong to that particular family. Some particular family, they win, they get. But otherwise, every politician, hardworking. And in Tamil Nadu, Jayalalitha was a very hardworking person. It was her knowledge. She was not afraid of confronting. She was a single person. She was virtually an orphan. No husband. Her brother died long time back. No children. And she had to fight against Karunanidhi, who had 3 wives and half a dozen children. A big army. How? Knowledge. She used to read biographies, autobiographies, history, not some fiction and just a no. She empowered herself with knowledge. That gave her immense courage. And with that courage and knowledge, she succeeded. So learn from Jayalalitha. So that is the point. Politicians, I learned a lot from the politicians. And there are very small percentage of politicians, they are not corrupt. Very, very small or unethical. Okay, Sridhar Krupaji.
Yes, you may not like appreciation, but still I like to do your extremely good, excellent. But my question is that you said only the one way, that is resensitization. What are the other methods to overcome to the fear? What, according to your knowledge and experience?
Okay, I don't know when you joined. I clearly explained everything. First of all, write a list of the fears. Then read non-fiction books. There are plenty of books available. Public speaking fear, read that book. Then fear of criticism, there are books on that one, how to deal with criticism. Fear of rejection, read that one. And these days, it won't cost you much. Long time back, you have to buy a book. You have to go to a library. Now the whole world library, computer, internet, all that with Google search, any information is available. That's what I do. Fear, 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 read. Anybody can overcome any kind of fear. Have I answered your question, Gurupji?
Yes, yes.
That's it. There's no shortcut. Another thing, there is no shortcut. There is no magic pill. One has to work for that one. And if you work, you have patience, persistence, optimism, and make sure that you are not in the company. I repeat that one. Again, a real life example I'll tell you. Some of you may be knowing that one. In USA, I had to face discrimination, harassment because of my color, because of my nationality. It is rampant. Don't think it's not here. This is a very developed country, everything. No. Even now the blacks, they face that one. They may have equal rights, but discrimination is rampant. I was subjected to discrimination, harassment. And like me, some other people also from India, some doctors. What did they do? FER. They ran away. Fear everything and run away. That's what they did. They went to some other hospital and some other also. There also. Always running, running, running. They won't come and tell you, Sridhar Krupaji, the truth. I am the only person, I think, that who is not afraid or ashamed to tell the truth. There, I read books on harassment, discrimination, how to, what to do, everything. What are the options? Okay, I can fight legally. I ventured. And again, some of my friends who are pakka cowards, they tried to discourage me. And one guy from Tamil Nadu, he's an engineer. He is now going to be 60, and some 12 years or 13 years back, he said that, "Sir, அவங்க கிட்ட எல்லாம் துப்பாக்கி இருக்கும். அவங்க வந்து சுற்றுவாங்க சார், போகாதீங்க." He was trying to make it that they have guns. This country, they have guns. They may come and shoot you. I cut that relationship. Cowards, they will make you also lose your confidence, courage. I have seen many other, some Malayali friends also. Cowards. Then I found it difficult to find people with courage. So most of the time, I was dependent on myself. Got it, Guruvji?
Yes, thank you very much.
That
Good.
is what it is.
Good answer.
Right. I am. And I won. When I fought, I filed altogether total 5 plus 4, 9 cases over a period of 22 years. 22 years, that uncertainty, legal battle, it didn't discourage me. I won all the 9 cases. Because I reading and everything, what to do, how to do, everything, I put into practice. That's it. Okay. Now the Acharya ji or the Tulasi ji. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Venugopal sir, for such a wonderful session. Still, some thinking is remaining. You put us, all of us, in the ocean of thinking. If we are thinking the whole day, it won't finish. That much things are there. Important matters are there. One thing I would like to share, as you told about the Dupaki. Earlier, in our childhood, parents were frightening us, police varum. But nowadays, wherever I go, if I got any doubt, any confusion, I will search it. If police people are there, I will go directly to them and I will get the guidance from them. Then, second thing, when my mom was ill, we were 7 children, but out of that, second sister passed away. Others were not ready to take the responsibility of look after my mom, because she was having fits frequently and having what will say, blood clot in the brain, stroke also. So they were saying, if something happening to mom, how can we reach the hospital immediately? So one day my husband wanted to go to Trivandrum. My husband was having transferable job. We were outside Kerala. At last, after retirement, we resettled in Kerala. At that time, mom was with me. He wanted to go to Trivandrum. He asked, if you are alone with your mom, what will happen? If something happened at night, what will you do? I told you, go. You don't worry about me and mom. You are talking about my mom. Is something happening to me? What you can do? We can't say what is happening to only the things happening to old people. We can also have some problems. So you go. I am believing I have a power. I am believing everything. God also. You just go without any confusion. So I had taken the responsibility of looking after my mom. Now I am proud of myself. I looked after 5 months. She was in coma stage. I was looking after her like a small child. So that make me so proud of myself. That responsibility. So taking responsibility, that also fear of taking responsibility. Some people are running away.
Right.
Then one thing, sir, one more thing I would like to share. Before Corona, we had given advance for Russia trip in Somens. But after that, the Corona started, they stopped all tourists. Then in 2022, they told they are going for, during Ukraine war, they restarted the trip. Oh, then they called. Then we told, no, we are not coming to Russia because Ukraine war is going on. So it is not that much safe. They told her, they are 24 people. only you two couples are not, our friend and we are not ready to come. If you are not coming, your money will go. Then we were discussing. At last, we decided to go. All were criticizing us. What is the need of going to Russia now? Is this the right time to visit Russia? But what we thought is that death is there. We have to face the death anyway. We can't say when it will come. If the fate is to go and die in Russia, then that will happen. But we visited Russia. There was no any situation like war and all. Everything peaceful. After coming from Russia, we have a big welcome in Cochin airport with Chingari Melam and all. After coming from Russia, they people are saying, we really agree your courage to visit Russia during this such conditions. So that is, if we are coming out of the comfort zone, everything, the universe will be with us. So thank you, sir, for such a wonderful session. Thank you so much.
Okay, I am sure that most of these days I find some of the topics mindful meditation, mindful. People are not even putting into practice. Be mindful, live in the present. Don't think about the future. When you worrying comes, when you unnecessarily think about the future, live in the present. You are taking care of your mom. Okay, this is the present. I am in good health, and she's done. I can take care of that one. Nothing else. What will happen if I fall sick? What will happen in the night this happens? That is all. You are actually the imagination, imagining and creative thinking, abusing that creative thinking, your mind. So mindful meditation, I find almost in the last 3 years, I think some 20 or 30, they are all preaching. All these people are also listening. They are not putting into practice, being mindful. Okay, now, Acharya, Ramalingamji, be brief. Now already we have crossed 1 hour.
Sir, thank you very much. Sir, actually, you are saying that in that slide, there are no medicine for fear. In our bachelor therapy, we are having that 7 type of fears and what are all the remedies, even for that known fear, unknown fear, fear of loneliness, anxiety. That is one thing I would like to know. What is your opinion about that bachelor therapy? Second one is, even you are saying about what so what. And for me, what next I can take be responsible for that. Because that not from the past, not thinking for the future, then and experience. Whatever the failure is, the stepping stone something. So this is my opinion, sir.
Okay, Acharya ji, whatever that medicine, give it to people with the fear and see whether it works. If that one works, then okay, let me know. They will all make all big claims. Okay, we have this medicine for fear. Fear is in the mind. And that one, there's no medicine, Acharya ji. I think that you are so innocent. You are believing all this. In America, they use the expression bullshit. That is called bullshit. That is nonsense. I gave a talk.
I got
That is
result.
nonsense. That is sheer nonsense. And stop reading or listening to those things. That is one way
No,
of
I'm
getting
practicing.
better. Okay?
Yeah, I'm
It's not going to work.
practicing. Yeah, thank you.
It is not going to work. Because my son, again, if I give some medicine, a fear of dog, do you think that it will go away? No way. No way. It is not going to go away. Fear of public
Even
speaking,
counseling
you take that
also
medicine,
required.
you take that medicine, and will you be able to, next day, you will be able to go and talk public speaking? No. It's not going to go away. Okay, thank you. Now, Naveen ji,
Thank you.
be brief.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was those
Okay.
days when I was there in 7th or 8th standard. I had the intention of learning the horse riding. I didn't have money. I didn't have just my my just I want to learn. So I just went to one of the people who were having about 7 or 8 horses. They used to teach those actors and all. I used to go 3 o'clock to their stable. I used to clean the whole thing, and then he used to see after about 10 days or 15 days. Okay, then he said, "Okay, early in the morning by 4:30, I will teach you the horse riding." This is how I learned the horse riding. I now also enjoy those moments where the inspiration to myself, to my people and all people there, where whenever it is a AC center, I used to go and sit and see horse riding, going to the race course, Mysore, Bangalore, Chennai. I have been watching and enjoying those big horses, and my chest has become very large. After my operation, again I'll start that. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Now, Prasadji and other people, some of you may be remembering Y2K. Do you remember Y2K? That is the year 2000. They are all worried about the computer, everything will crash because all the programming and Y2K.
Planes will fall down.
Right, everything. And because of that, at that time, around that time, I was planning to come to India. That is it. Then I found that is okay. On December 31st, that is the flights, most of the airlines, they are offering heavy discount because people are afraid to fly and most of the seats were vacant. So what did I do? I bought the ticket on December 31st. I was able to save more than $300. And my friends, they mocked at me. Stupid. What a stupid thing. Haven't you heard about Y2K? Then I said, yes, but I want you to think. I know how to think. If the flies, the airline pilot, do you think that he will risk his life? And if the airlines also, if it crashes, then they will have to pay millions of dollars of compensation and insurance, everything. That means it is an imaginary fear. And when I went, evening, that is first flight from, at that time I was in Detroit, from Detroit to Frankfurt, some 6 hours of that, 6 or 7 hours of flight. Only 30% of the seats were occupied. So I was able to occupy 4 seats, lie down, and okay. And the air hostess said that food, extra food. You want something more, everything. Then from Frankfurt to Colombo, 11 hours. Again, most of the seats were vacant. I completely lie down, sleep, arrived. So that fear, that is because fear, when you are afraid, then your rational brain will stop thinking. That is when the amygdala hijack happens. So I never let the fear hijack my amygdala. So I asked these questions to myself. How come? The pilots, what about the air hostess? Their life, would they risk their life? What about the airlines company? Will they? The answer is no. And that's the way. The same way when I was in UK, coming to Trivandrum, Air India flight is available from London, Bombay to Trivandrum. Then from London to Colombo, that is Air Lanka, and Colombo to Trivandrum. The fare that Air Lanka was nearly 100 pounds less. Why? Because of the LTT, all those fear. People are afraid to travel the Air Lanka. I always bought the ticket in Air Lanka. 100 pounds every time I was able to save. Nothing, such imaginary fears. If you are afraid, you won't be able to enjoy life. Okay, now I think that we can wind up. Thank you for active participation. And next week in this forum, Prasadji, I can give a talk on insight. Are you interested? Right.
Yeah, I mean, Dr. Kurup also has expressed his interest to take a session coming Sunday. So we would request you if it can happen the next fortnight, in the 2 weeks.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah.
That will give me actually more free time to enjoy my life. Because right now, whenever I am committing myself to give a talk, that means I have to do homework. I have to spend time. So no problem. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Good night.
Thank you.
And once I upload this one in the YouTube, I'll share it with you. Okay.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Venugopal. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Daromat. Bhayapadade.
Thank you, Doctor.
Bhayapadade. Even Lord Muruga in Tamil said that Yam irikka payame. Have you seen that one? If you those who know how to read the Tamil, that Yam irikka payame. Nya ivada undallo. Endinu pedikkunnu. I am here. Don't be afraid. That is the way.
Thank you, Doctor.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
Thank you, sir.